Now, there's a certain type of physique, a mixture of elements on a man's body that when combined together create a physique that women just can't say no to. Now, I've already achieved this physique for myself, a top 0.1% physique that most men will just never get in their lifetime. And as a result of that physique, I've also had so much success with women, levels that again, most men will never reach in their lifetime. So today I'm going to break down this physique formula that creates irresistible attraction. It's obviously not taught to you in school, it's not taught to you by a personal trainer, but if you want a physique that literally has women staring at you, then this is what you need to know. Now, first of all, why do women respond to this type of physique? Now, the physique that I'm talking about, the one that I showed using myself as an example, is a V-taper physique. It's a physique that's like an inverted triangle, right? Starts with a slim waist, going into wide lats, wide shoulders, and then to fill it out, it's the upper chest and the abs as a finishing detail. For women, it's not about the overall size of your muscles, how big can I get, how strong can I get, but it's about the shape, the proportions. What do you actually look like? Not what the scale says, not what your bench press says, but what do you look like? To make it easier to understand from a male's perspective, when you see a girl with an hourglass physique, slim waist, big ass, you don't care what she weighs, what her hair looks like. You just want to give her back shots. Now, the equivalent of that for a female is a V-taper physique. That's the physique that you'll meet her 15 minutes later, you'll go to the bathroom with her. Now, what does a physique that's skinny fat or obese signal to women? Lack of strength, lack of capability, lack of discipline. All these things not very attractive to women, clearly. Now, how about a big bulked up bodybuilder, for example? Maybe dedication to the sport, but apart from that, it's not really triggering the attraction like an hourglass physique would trigger for men. It's better than the skinny fat or obese guy for sure, but it's not the most attractive. Now, how about a lean V-taper frame? Dedication, discipline, strength, athleticism, capability, all these things very attractive to women when combined. It's no wonder that women are basically hardwired to find that physique attractive. It gives off so many desirable traits. So we need to create the complete package, not just the muscle, not just the being lean, but sculpting our physique into the exact shape that we want it to be. So what are all the elements we need to combine in order to create the most attractive physique possible? Now, the first one, and the most important in fact, is going to be your body fat percentage. 8 to 12% body fat is the most optimal range. This is the body fat percentage range that's going to reveal all your features, your facial structure, your muscle definition, your abs, veins, everything. Now, it's better to be leaner with less muscle than to be fatter with more muscle. And I can tell you this not just from what I've witnessed, but from experience. I bulked up to 190 pounds and my attraction from women declined rapidly than when I was at 165 pounds, but a lot leaner. Losing body fat, and I'll talk about how to do it later, is for sure the quickest and simplest way to see an increase in attraction from women. It's a lot quicker to lose a significant amount of body fat than it is to build a significant amount of muscle. Now, talking about muscle, the muscles that you need to prioritize in order to build this attractive V-taper physique are as follows. The shoulders, especially the side delt, the lats, the upper chest, and the abs. All these muscles combined are what give you that powerful masculine frame, that attractive, sexy V-taper physique. Can't even tell you how many compliments I've had from women, and men as well, but even before when I didn't have too much muscle, but I had focused on building this frame specifically, prioritizing those muscles, it creates a very big visual impact, makes you look like you have more muscle than you have, especially when combined with being lean. Now, as you know, the proportions are very important. Prioritizing those muscles are going to give you the right proportion. The proportion that we want is a shoulder to waist ratio, a good shoulder to waist ratio. So as thin as a waist as possible, and then as wide shoulders and lats as possible. Even if genetically your waist is not that thin, my waist isn't that thin genetically, but when you build the lats and the shoulders and you get to a lean body fat percentage to cut down all the excess fat, it gives the illusion of a very nice V-taper. And another trick is to build your legs, your quads. They're not really the most attractive muscles, right? They're not part of the four. But when you build the quads, that also gives like it's called an X frame, I think. It gives the illusion of your waist being smaller. And you'll see that when you actually start to build this type of masculine attractive physique, your posture improves because of course you've improved your back muscles and everything. Your movement improves, you walk better, you have more of a presence about you. And believe me, women notice these things. All these elements have to work together. Don't just be walking with good posture, right, and you're 25% body fat. A woman will be thinking, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Now, don't just build the muscle either and forget about the body fat percentage, because you'll be very upset when you see that you only get compliments from guys and no girls want to talk to you. When you combine all these things together, that's when you have the real effects on women. That's when they think, is he a model? Is he an athlete? Is he this? He has to be someone. When you have this type of physique, you can get away with being extremely confident, even arrogant, and to be honest, it will be beneficial for you with women. But if you don't have the results to back it up, then even a small amount of confidence is not going to be attractive anymore. So how are we going to transform your physique? First of all, you have to evaluate where you're starting from. So are you lean, which means you have a six-pack and you just need to build muscle because you're skinny? Or are you in the majority of men and you're fat or skinny fat and you need to cut first? Of course, you can still build muscle whilst you're cutting, but it's not the priority. The priority is getting lean first, so then you can build muscle from a nice attractive baseline. Another thing you have to do when assessing your own physique is going to see what your baseline frame is like genetically. Now, you won't really see that unless you're lean. Another reason why you have to get lean first. But when you can see your own frame genetically, you can then go ahead and determine which muscles you have to prioritize. So if your physique is more like this from the waist up, then you need to focus on the lats first to start creating that V-taper. If you already have more of a natural V-taper, then you focus on the shoulders, the upper chest first to start making it look more sexy, more masculine. You work with your natural frame, not against it like most men do. You prioritize certain muscles that need to be brought up, and then you change them out when they're already up to speed and you need to focus on something else. Another thing you have to understand is you're assessing your physique on how it looks. It's not the weight on the scale. It's not the weight you're pushing in the gym. It's how it looks. How does it appear visually? When you look in the mirror, does it look good? When a woman sees that physique, does it look good? Would she be attracted to that? A lot of guys will be chasing an arbitrary number on the scale. And you just have to ask yourself why, because in real life, nobody gives a fuck about what you weigh. It's about what you look like. And you'll see that when you've got a lean V-taper physique, your weight won't be that high because you've not got much fat on your body, but you'll be very strong for your weight. For example, I'm under 170 pounds now, and I'm doing 215 pounds on the lat pull down in a calorie deficit with perfect form. And I think that's pretty strong for my weight. I mean, you can give me a girl that's 200 pounds and I can still pick her up and fuck her. My strength is not lacking whatsoever. Now, to actually get to 8 to 12% body fat without losing any muscle you might have, what do you do practically? So first of all, you know to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, a calorie deficit is basically a certain amount of calories that's taken away from your caloric maintenance. How to get your maintenance? Go online, go on a total daily energy expenditure calculator, and that's going to give you a rough estimate of what your caloric maintenance is every day. And from that, when you get that number, you subtract calories from there. Maybe 500 if you want a standard cut. It's a nice easy deficit. If you want to push it more, especially if you're quite overweight, if you've got high body fat percentage, you can push it even over 1,000 calories. But if you're like around 15% body fat or so, the most aggressive I'd go is around 1,000 calories. Otherwise, you start getting into like crazy diet fatigue, hunger, tiredness, all of that stuff that you don't want. So you need to be eating in a calorie deficit strictly every day. If you have loads of cheat meals and this and that, you won't lose weight as fast as you want. And you need to decide for yourself, is it more important to eat the fucking cookie, or is it more important to have a nice, lean, attractive physique that will have respect from women and men? For me, it's quite obvious what the choice is. Your meals whilst cutting should consist of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, 0.33 grams of fat per pound of body weight, and the rest carbs. It's important to keep your carbs high whilst you're cutting so you have energy, enough energy to lift weights heavy in the gym, which we'll talk about soon. If your fat loss stalls, you need to see if you're still eating in a calorie deficit. You might have stopped doing as much exercise, or you might have increased the calories in your food by accident. Make sure you're tracking all your calories in a tracking app like MyFitnessPal and tracking the weight of everything you're eating with a food scale. The foods that you should actually eat are always going to be 100% unprocessed foods. These are the foods that are going to make you feel the most full, feel the best, not just like for your physique, but for your health, for your well-being in general. Don't think you can get to 9-10% body fat whilst eating junk food all the time. It just doesn't happen with shit eating habits. I'm yet to see someone to do it. Now, you don't become the type of attractive guy that fucks girls and this and that when you're treating yourself poorly. Now, how to build the muscles that are going to give you the attractive V-taper frame. So you already know which muscles to prioritize, right? The shoulders, the lats, the upper chest, and the abs. When you're already lean and your main priority now is to build the muscle, you're going to eat at basically caloric maintenance. So not in a deficit anymore. We don't want to lose any more fat. We don't need to. But at maintenance to give ourselves enough energy to start building muscle effectively. Don't fall into the trap of bulking to possibly gain a tiny amount more muscle than you will do at caloric maintenance, while simultaneously ruining your attractive physique because you put on too much fat. Now the split that I use and I'd recommend for you is an upper lower split, upper lower rest and repeat. Now I've used all the splits and this one has provided the best results for me. You're stimulating the muscle growth 2 to 3 times a week. You've got regular rest days to manage fatigue, so all around it's pretty good. Now when you're in the gym, an important concept to understand is progressive overload. Progressive overload is a metric you can use to understand how fast, how rapidly you're gaining strength and muscle. If you did 50-pound bicep curls for 5 reps until failure on Monday, and then your next session comes around on Thursday and you do 7 reps for 50 pounds till failure, you've just seen progressive overload, which means you've gained strength and therefore probably gained muscle. Ideally, you want to see consistent progressive overload over a long period of time when your priority is to build muscle. Now to see the fastest progressive overload, which means you're gaining strength the fastest, which means you're gaining muscle the fastest, you're going to train 2 sets until failure, between 4 and 8 reps for every exercise. Every muscle, every exercise, even the ones I didn't mention that still need to be trained, you do that for everything. From the bicep curl example, if you're doing 50-pound bicep curl until failure and you get 7 reps, then the session after that, you get 8 reps. Then the session after that, you increase the weight to 55 pounds or something because you've reached the top end of the rep range, which was 8 reps for us. The 4 muscles that I've talked about for the V-taper physique, they're going to go first in your session, one after each other. Whichever one of those specifically that you want to do first, it's up to you, depending on what your current physique looks like. And after a while, once you've been doing one exercise first, you can then change out the muscle and do another one to prioritize that one first. But you need to be putting them first because whatever exercise you do first in a session, that muscle is going to receive the most stimulus. For me right now, I'm prioritizing shoulders. So I'm doing an overhead press first, then a lateral raise, and then I go into the lats, the upper chest, so on. Make sure you're assessing your current physique often so you can determine that you're prioritizing the right muscle. For example, I started off prioritizing my lats, then I went on to my upper chest and now it's the shoulders. So now some mistakes that people make and I've made. So the first one is going to be rushing, either rushing to build muscle or rushing to lose fat. If you rush to build muscle, it's likely going to start eating more. You're going to eat more. You're probably not going to gain more muscle, but what you're definitely going to do is gain more fat. You already know that destroys an attractive physique. Now, rushing to lose fat. I've been in crazy calorie deficit before. I'm not even joking, like above 2,000 calorie deficit, basically starvation. Now, what happens when you do that? You accumulate serious diet fatigue. You're very tired all the time. You feel like a zombie. You don't want to do anything. You lose weight for sure, but then after 3 days, you can't take it anymore. You have to eat, and you eat a lot more than you usually would. So you actually end up either maintaining or gaining weight, even though you were just starving yourself. So take it sustainably. Have a calorie deficit where you can sustain it for months, for a long period of time without feeling dead. Building the wrong muscles and overdeveloping the wrong muscles is probably even worse than that because you've gone to a lot of effort in the gym to build these muscles that might actually be ruining your physique, your attractive physique, instead of contributing to it. Now, examples of this are going to include the lower chest, the obliques, the upper traps. When you overdevelop these muscles, you get a strong, bulky powerlifter type of look. That's not the look we're going for. We want a sexy look like this. Overdeveloping the obliques makes your waist stocky, ruining the V-taper. Overdeveloping the upper traps makes your shoulders sloped instead of broad. Overdeveloping the upper chest makes your chest saggy, droopy, like man boobs, instead of having a nice broad filled out upper chest. Now another thing is you shouldn't let guys who have no discipline deter you from building an attractive physique, because you might get comments sometimes, if you tell someone that you're building an attractive physique, you're going to the gym to attract women, they're going to be like, what? You go to attract women? What the fuck are you doing, bro? You go for yourself. But those guys, they spend a lot of time thinking about women because they don't get any, because they don't have an attractive physique. So don't let them guys put you off. You're doing what you need to do to get the result that you want, and they're just fucking jacking off every day. So now the way that you build this amazing physique, top 0.1% attractive physique that gets girls effortlessly, is not by making it your whole lifestyle, not making your whole life about it. That's what like a lot of gym bros do, you know, big bodybuilders, whatever. I mean, you know, if you're training for a competition or whatever, fair enough. But even guys who are just doing it as a hobby, they'll be drinking protein shakes every hour, always thinking about the gym, this and that. You actually don't need to do that. And you'll have a better physique than them if you don't. Because you need to optimize your lifestyle where fitness, working out, getting lean is just a part of your life. You're not always thinking about it. It's just natural to you. You've built it into your habits. Going to the gym isn't a big thing. It's just something that you do. Eating healthy and going to the gym isn't something that you should be putting a lot of your brain power towards. It should be something that's easy, because after you've built it into a habit, of course, it's something that's easy for you to do and you can maintain and get a good physique like I have easily. Like me, I don't even try. I don't going to the gym is easy. Eating healthy is easy. It doesn't even occur in my mind that some people struggle to do it. And it becomes incrementally easier as you continue to build a good physique. Because when you have a good physique, believe me, going to the gym is easy. Fucking girls with big asses are staring at you and everything else. So you need to implement the complete formula to get the best results possible. All the elements I've mentioned working together gets you exponential results on your confidence, on your results with women, on your mindset, on your well-being, on your health. Like there's honestly a million things, a million positive things you could say about building an attractive physique, building a good physique. It's just too many to name. I guarantee you that building an attractive top tier physique is one of the greatest impacts you can have on your own life that you can get started on right now. I mean, you don't have to be like them guys that are fucking depressed because they get no attention from women. It doesn't have to be you. And you don't have to be like them guys who will go on 7, 8 dates to get a kiss on the cheek. Nah, we don't do that. You can fuck a girl the same day you met her, no problem. Not much effort required. It really is that easy. So if you do want that to be you, implement the steps that I've told you in this video and you should get there soon. If you took value from this video, drop a like and watch this one next.